Good morning, everybody. Man, it's a little chilly in Colorado, not gonna lie. It is like 20 some degrees right now. But in this video, we're gonna be installing the anti-roll bar in the car. I think I'm also gonna be measuring the instant center on the car as well for the four-link stuff, just for data, just to have like a place to reference. So that way, if I make a change and the car gets worse or better, I know like where I started from. And then I also, shout out to Morgan, I borrowed his scales. I'm gonna scale the car and weigh it because I'm curious to see what it weighs with the hood and the front nose and everything on it now. And I am also going to scale it and corner balance it and then write down everything in a notebook. So that way, like I said earlier, I have a place of reference for where I'm starting. So let me show you guys this anti-roll bar really quick. So this is a trick chassis 1 5/8 anti-roll bar. This bar right here is 1 5/8. The bar in the car right now, I'll show you guys when I take it out, is only 1 inch. So I think that is why this car is rolling over. Insert clip here. Is because the anti-roll bar is only 1 inch, so they have these nice little ends with these bushings in them, and then these billet arms get welded to this tube, and these are the rod ends that like go up to the chassis. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the stuff over here. So as you can see, that's the anti-roll bar that's in the car. It slides through the actual four-link bracket. This one is gonna get welded to the chassis, so I need to cut out that first little bar right there that you see before I can do anything, and then hopefully this will be pretty easy to install. Out with the old, I got this bar cut off right here that was in the way, and then I also got the 1 inch anti-roll bar. See how small that guy is? I got that out of there, I got the arms out of the way, and then I got this little guy tacked up. This thing looks tiny. I'm sure it still works. It doesn't really matter like how wide it is. It's still wider than the center section of the axle. So I'm going to go ahead and just double check that all this fits in there before I weld these arms up. Got this all welded up. Of course, like these arms look super nice, but for some reason, I don't know what material this is or what they did, but it did not weld very good. So I was kind of impressed, but I'm a little less impressed. It's still a nice unit and it doesn't really matter, but it's a little sad like when you make a nice billet piece like this and it welds like shit. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and mark this up, clean up the spot on the axle for it so I can figure out where it needs to go and then get it tacked up and welded in there. There you go. That was a decent amount of work getting this thing to fit back here because it is tight on space, but it's all installed. This is the 1 5/8 anti-roll bar. Really excited to see what this thing does at the track and see if this fixes all of our roll issues, which I'm sure it's going to, but if not, we have some other issues. Now that that's done, we can move on to the front limiters. So now that we got the anti-roll bar all finished up and everything good to go, before we can scale this thing and measure for the instant center and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and, I got this chain here. I'm just going to be basically making some ghetto travel limiters here. So I'm just going to be chaining it up. I have this cleaned up right here because I made these little plates right here that have a hole through them, so it's super simple. I'm going to weld the plate onto the shock tower inside there, and then weld another tab similar to this to the control arm. Probably weld another plate like this maybe, I don't know. I don't really think it needs it, but the shock tower is pretty thin. The control arm is way thicker, so I think just another tab on the bottom and then put the chain in between it. It's super simple. It'll have bolts that bolt through it so you can adjust it as you go, but I already got these made, so I'm going to go ahead and tack these up in the car. Upper plate all welded in there, and then also the tab on the control arm as well, as you see. Now I just need to measure the links on the chain and then cut it and then bolt it up in there. I made I hope the other side is the same because obviously it kind of needs to be. I kind of eyeballed them in there, but they should be relatively close. This is definitely the best way to do it, is to cut the links with the shock extended. That way I don't make them super long and have a whole bunch of extra links. So then I can know, like I can measure and see like, okay, well, if I put 2 links in it, it'll give me around this much travel more or less. So go ahead, cut this really quick and then get it installed. There you go. Nice and simple. Just got the chain on there and super easy to cut. It's kind of nice. So it's got a little bit of slack right here at full extension. So that means if I just go 1 up, we'll shorten it up 1, I know I'll be getting close to full extension, but not all of it. So I'm kind of curious to see how well this works. I'm going to put it on the ground and just make sure it's actually going to work. I mean, It might not have like the best angle, but in theory at some point, if it's chained up, it should stop the control arm from being able to move. So we will put the wheels back on it and see what it does, I guess. Oh, I gotta scale the car too. Got too much stuff going on, guys. So check it out. As you can see, I got the car jacked up in the air. The chains are working for sure because as I let it down, you'll see it move back down just a little bit. So I think that's probably where I'm gonna leave it. Okay, these shocks are like destroyed. These shocks are terrible. I'm gonna get some nice Viking double adjustables here in like a month or two. Hopefully it doesn't really want to wheelie, so hopefully this fixes it or helps it, I guess. We'll see when we go to the track on Saturday. As I said earlier, I'm gonna write everything down. So I got ride height and corner weights on there, like front and rear bias as well. I'm also gonna be writing down the instant center as well under this. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and put the car on scales. I already checked all the air and the tires and everything, and they're all equal, just so that way it doesn't throw off anything. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the hood on it right now as well. So right now it has no fuel in it. I'm gonna scale it with no fuel in it first because I've always been curious to see how much weight I would save if I would switch over to like a 2-gallon fuel cell for when I'm racing, and then have this 15-gallon fuel cell for when I'm at I'm cruising it around. So I want to do that just to kind of see weights, and then I'm gonna add all the fuel back in it and like write down all that data with the fuel in it, obviously, because that's how I'll be doing it. And then also I'll like take a picture with it with me inside the car. It kind of sucks that there's nobody here, but I should be able to figure this out by myself. So that's what we're gonna do really quick. Doesn't really matter all that much, but as you can see, without any fuel in it and without me in the car, it is 2,604 pounds. So anyways, gonna go ahead and add the 15 gallons or right about 15 gallons of fuel in it, and then see how much we weigh. I'm gonna get in it and then see what the corners are, and it'll be a good point to reference some data and write down, and hopefully for later use. Sorry, I'm really tired. I just ate. It's like 5:30. I just ate at 5 o'clock. I forgot to eat today because I was just in the zone, I guess, trying to get this done. So let's do this really quick so we can go home. All right, so I went ahead and got all my 4-link measurements and everything I needed for the calculator. These like corner weights and stuff, I did it without the anti-roll bar hooked up, which now I get confused a little bit because obviously the anti-roll bar is going to be on the car, and like as I get in the car, without the anti-roll bar on it, it just sags over to the one side. With the anti-roll bar, it won't roll over as hard. So I think I'm gonna wait until I get these ends made because I don't have the links in there yet. So I need to put the links in there. I gotta wait for my machinist to come in. But tonight I'm gonna go home and plot all this up. Like I said earlier, this data doesn't really matter for you guys, but I just documenting the progress. So I did get it pretty close. I'll show you a picture of the corner weights down below. The car is about what I thought it was gonna be. It's a little bit heavier. And these right here are the corner weights. Most people make the left rear a little bit heavier than the right rear just because as the car rolls over, it's gonna put more weight on that right side. So mine right now is about like 90-ish pounds heavier on the driver's side, which seems like a lot. Most people are saying like 50 to 80 pounds, but we'll see what it does as long as the car drives straight. Maybe later on down the road, we'll cut everything out of it, or I'm pretty sure I'm going to, and redo the whole cage in it because I'm not very happy with it, and redo the chassis work and the sheet metal work. So that will leave us, that will give us a time to lighten it up and take as much weight as we can out of it. So, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna be getting out of here for today. I am exhausted. I still waiting for the exhaust manifold gaskets to show up. They're supposed to show up. Other than that, the car is ready to go for the tune on Wednesday. I hope you guys are excited. We're gonna be having Derek at Slower Than You tune it. If you guys are OGs, you guys will remember him. He does a really good job, and he has a pretty awesome program with the stuff that he does. So he's really good with the stock bottom end stuff. And then on Saturday, we'll be going to the track. I hope you guys are excited for the dyno video. I know I am, but that's gonna do it for now, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. Yeah, he said one of the safety cuts is too low.